Moving right along to the mouth. Again, it's all about shading. The fewer lines, direct, hard lines you use, the better. Unless somebody has bright red lipstick on and they've used lip liner, we do not want to do that oh so tempting cartoon makeup mouth. This is not how you draw a mouth again. No. Instead, let's begin with the line that separates the two lips. This is generally the darkest line of the mouth. So I'll come over here. And I don't necessarily want to draw a straight line. Someone would be in a really weird mood to have a perfectly straight line. Instead, I tend to dip down a little bit, just here under the middle of the lip where we have this sort of dewdrop. I make it a nice, soft, organic line with a little curve to it. And I like to make my figures smile just a bit, maybe have a little curve up. I'm letting this line be nice and dark. I often find that the edge of the mouth tends to have a little shadow and sort of bleed out instead of having a sharp end of a line. So I'll usually leave that kind of soft. Okay, now since we're not outlining the upper lip, how do we know where it goes and how to draw it? I'll start using the side of my pencil. Often right about here, I start kind of establishing these two almost triangular points where the lip comes up. You'll notice I'm not drawing intense lines, I'm shading. Oh, it looks like a little heart here. So I'll begin to shade the upper lip, and I don't want to shade all the way to the very last end of my line. If you look really closely at your mouth, you'll notice that the shaded part of your lip tends to end before the crease of the edge of the lip. Shading that upper lip just gently for now. I can blend it to help make it nice and really smooth. Sometimes you do see a more direct line, and we do see lines in the texture of the lips. I'm going to add just a few rounded lines to get that texture in. And sometimes you'll get a little bit more darkness on the bottom part of the lip as it curves down to meet the lower lip, because lips really are quite cylindrical. Okay, so I'm letting that edge be very soft here on the sides of the lip. Now I'll dive down to my lower lip. I find that it helps me a lot if instead of drawing the lower lip, like we don't want to do by making a hard, heavy line outside, I'll start shading underneath the lower lip. And because the lower lip sticks out, it tends to catch the light and it's lighter than the upper lip. So you can shade your upper lip more darkly than you do your lower lip. You can see that just by smudging and moving the graphite around, my lower lip has completely appeared and popped out here. Most people have a dip underneath here, so that's why I'm letting it get pretty dark underneath the lower lip. The more shadow, that'll make that lip seem fuller. Okay, this lip's coming into place. I don't want to leave it totally white though. So I'll have a little shadow here to show that it's emerging from the lower lip. And I'm even gonna let it blend with the outside of lip on these sides, because often the skin tone of the lip is especially nude right here just before it reaches the skin. So you can keep that very soft. Perhaps a little shadow also just above the middle of the upper lip where we have this little divot right above where it meets the nose. And this is very subtle, but I'll share it with you, especially if you've got someone with a medium skin tone and you don't, you have a totally lost edge between the upper lip and the skin. You can go back and erase a slight, teeny tiny little white line above the upper lip, and that can lead to some very realistic lips. It's such a tiny nuance. Look super duper closely and you'll see this very, very minor, tiny little white line. So if you do see it, draw it. If you get a chance, go find a mirror, try doing your own little self-portrait, focusing on the lips. Post any questions that you might have in our group and any extra awesome lips that you've drawn. We'd love to see them. So I look forward to seeing your eyes, nose, and mouth, the drawn version, in the group. So talk to you soon, and great work.